Alrighty. Good morning, y'all. Also, it is the next day after K-EXPO and I'm actually about to fly back to Cali later on today. So yay for being back home. But it's been it's been a short trip, but me and Jane did a lot of things. So we like barely slept. The other day we got 3 hours of sleep and today we got like 5 hours of sleep. So yeah, but I'm gonna do my K-EXPO review and tell you guys the whole thing that went down because trust me, there are lots. Grab your snacks and your drinks because this is gonna be a long one. I'm actually gonna grab my drink right here. I just have Dunkin' Donut iced coffee. Alrighty, so I just want to start off by saying that management and organization was the #1 issue with this convention. So basically, to start off, there was like a venue change, like a super last minute venue change, literally a day before the convention was supposed to start. Me and Jane get an email and it said that the venue changed from Pier 36 to Melrose Ballroom, which is actually pretty good for us because it's closer to where we're at right now. So that was good, but we knew that the change in venue would pose a lot of problems. And, you know, because of the change in venue, I don't want to blame all that Korea or all that group. I don't know what they're called, but the company that brought the convention here, I don't want to put all the blame on them because I know some of the things were, you know, out of their control and they couldn't really foresee this happening. So yeah, but with that being said, I think that if there was a planned like agenda or a system that they had already planned for the whole convention, it wouldn't have been as difficult as it was. Yes, there was a venue change, but if they had a plan set already, you know, they didn't have to change a lot to it, you know, if there was already a system. So on the day of the convention, which was yesterday, me and Jane went to get breakfast and then the wristbands were going to be distributed around 9 o'clock. So we were like, okay, cool. We're going to get there a little before 9, get in line. It'll be chill because that's when P1 is supposed to get their, you know, wristband and tickets. So cool. So we went there and we noticed that there was like a long line that wrapped around the building. I mean, that was expected. So we got in line and we're asking people like, hey, you know, is this like the correct line? And people were like, I have no idea. And we're just like, oh, same. And it turns out that the whole line was like for all the different tiers because other people in line, they had like P2 and other people in line only had red carpet. And it was just like, it was a mess already and it didn't even begin yet. It took us around 2 hours or so, like an hour and a half to finally get our like tickets and wristband. And it was actually the staff who was like physically going down the line and giving us it, which I don't know. I think they could have saved a lot of time if they had just split us up from the get-go and just have us go to them, you know? But yeah, but we finally got a wristband and everything. And by that time, it was like 11 o'clock, which is when the red carpet is supposed to happen. And everyone's just like, what's going on? Is it still happening? Like, throughout the whole entire convention, basically, the staff had no idea what was going on because every time I asked a question, they would be like, I don't know, or someone's gonna announce that later. And I'm just like, okay, that's pretty frustrating because we're paying a lot of money to be here and we want to know what's going on, you know? Yeah, I think there was just a lot of miscommunication between everyone at the venue. So back to what I was saying. At around 11 o'clock, people were finally finishing up getting their wristbands and all that stuff. And our wristbands, oh, I'm actually wearing it right now, but it has like group like letters on them, so keep that in mind for later, okay? So we were finally let into the venue and we're just like, okay, we're going in, but what's happening? Literally the staff never told us what's going on and we're just like rolling the punches basically. And so we got in and the Melrose is basically, it's like there's a ballroom and there's a stage and then there's like the floor and then there's the balcony, which is like the second floor, and like you can also view the stage on the top floor. And so we got into the ballroom and there was just like everyone just basically in there and I'm just like, okay, all right, people were just lining up and it kind of looked like the concert was gonna happen. We're just like, what the fuck, like what's going on? And so finally someone said, okay, the red carpet's about to happen. And it's like half an hour past the time that they were supposed to. And it was really short, honestly. All the artists just like came up on stage, they like did a few poses, answered a few questions and left. And we're just like, okay, cool. I mean, I expected that, so that was fine. And then after the whole red carpet, there was like no announcement. It was just like, they were just like staff on stage kind of like fiddling around, and we're just like, okay, what do we do now? Because after the red carpet was supposed to be Astro's fan engagement, and then everyone, slowly all the fan engagements are supposed to happen. And so, you know, I overheard some Astro friends like, I have no idea where we're supposed to go, what we're supposed to do, there's no announcement. And it was just messy. And so finally, after I think like 15, 20 minutes, something like that, a staff was like, okay, people who have Astro, please line up so-and-so. I forgot where it was, but yeah, they had to line up somewhere. And then a few minutes later, or like a while later, someone's like, oh, by the way, the booths and the other stuff that they were supposed to sell at the convention is located upstairs in the balcony. You guys could go there, check it out, da da da. I'm just like, so you're gonna tell us that now? You know, it was super unorganized and no one knew what was going on. It was just as if they were planning it on the spot when they should have had an agenda or a plan for Pier 36 anyway. So I didn't see why it had to be this difficult now. The whole booths on top, I thought it was really cool to see, you know, different booths set up for different artists, like fan projects and everything. Like, it was great, but it just sucked that the venue changed and it was super crowded and it was like hard to walk around. It was definitely a fire hazard up in there. Like, it was definitely like a mini K-Con. Like, the concept was there and the idea was there, and I know that all that Korea had, you know, good intentions and they were apologetic about what was happening. So, you know, I give them props for that, but it was just terribly executed. You know, like, man, it's like moments like this when I'm just like, why don't you just hire me? I'll do it for free. Okay, no, not for free, but like, you know, with benefits. And while all of that was happening, there were like different performances from different groups happening, and like the different programs as well that were supposed to happen for the convention. So that was happening like all on stage, and it was happening during the fan engagements and like while the booths were going around. So yeah, like a mini K-Con basically. And I thought that was pretty cool. But just, again, it sucked that they changed the venue because I feel like it didn't make it quite as impacting, you know? But yeah, I thought the performances were great though. They're really cool. So yeah, and then I waited for the rose, and it was supposed to be around like 3 o'clock, I think. And I was hoping that I would be the first 100 because the first 100 were able to get an individual photo. But I didn't know that it was just the first 100 that got their tickets. So like, you had to be there early in the morning already to get the first 100 tickets for the rose. I didn't know that. I thought it was just, you know, everyone got the wristbands, and once they're inside, the first 100 lines up. You know, I thought that was how it's gonna be, but it wasn't, which was fine because I had a really great time seeing the rose, and like, they're honestly the greatest. But yeah, I guess now I should talk about the fan engagement. Yeah, okay. So we were all lined up by like this like staircase, and then it led up to like the second floor to like a different room where the rose was at, and we were gonna do the fan engagement there. And so it was high touch and then photo op, and it was honestly so fast. Like, I didn't even realize what was happening because it happened so fast. And I get that because, you know, they were, you know, rushing on time, so I totally get that. But yeah, so I high touched the rose. The order was Jaehyung, Dojun, Hajun, and then Sammy, I think. I'm pretty sure, yeah. So I know to Jaehyung, I was like, your voice is beautiful. And then to Hajun and Dojun, I was like, I really love your singing, because they all have really lovely voices. And then for Sammy, I was like, oh, I can't wait for the next album. And then he was like, yeah. I was like, oh my God, you're so cute. And then I know for like Sammy, I'm always like, instead of like a high five, you know, I mean, you paid money, girl. You don't want just a high five. So I was like, like that. And I was like, oh my God. But yeah, you know, I never really noticed how small his hands were, but my hands are pretty small. So when we touched hands, I was like, wow, his hands are so tiny. But yeah, anyways, and then right after the high touch, there was like a couch that was like behind the rose. So then we all would sit on the couch, and then the rose would turn around, and then we would take a photo. So, and that happened like really fast. Like I sat down, they're like, okay, 1, 2, 3, boop. I was like, what? But yeah, so once the photo comes out, maybe I'll post on Twitter. So yeah. Yeah, so that was that. And then, okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, get yourself ready, because this is where the real tea is gonna happen, okay? This is when everyone was trying to organize themselves for the pit. Oh my God. All right, okay, so first off, when I was looking at the schedule prior to the venue change, it was already kind of weird, I guess, because there wasn't really that much gap between each artist fan engagement. And it's like, how are the fans supposed to line up if there's such a small gap, you know? And for those who want to be first, like for the Rose, who want to be first 100, whatever. And so, yeah, the Rose was like the last fan engagement. And right after the Rose, literally 10 minutes was when they're supposed to start the concert. It's like, how do you think I'm gonna go from the fan engagement all the way to the pit and like situate myself in 10 minutes? That is not happening. And so it was just so chaotic. And I feel like at this point, it's just common sense that they didn't have. And I'm just like, what the hell? So out of the Rose, I came out and I was trying to look for Jane and everything. And like, I couldn't even get through the fucking crowd because there were so many people already. And I was just like, great. And so they were trying to organize everyone based on their wristbands and everything. And actually, before I went to the Rose, I overheard the announcement. And they're like, okay, guys, now we're gonna try to organize P1. We're gonna split you up, blah, blah, blah. Again, they have great intentions. And I know that they're just trying to make everyone happy. But when you're dealing with, you know, that many people and you don't have a plan before the concert, it's not gonna work out. Do not plan anything on the day of concert, please. Please, at all future concerts, don't do that. But yeah, so as they were trying to do that, I was like in the Rose, so I had no idea what's going on. So when I came out, I was just like, okay. So I'm trying to make my way through, you know, and people don't want to give up their spots. And I get that, I 100% get that. But I'm literally P1 and you're P3 or P2, so please let me through. I paid like $300 for this. But yeah, like but yeah, there were like some pretty rude people. They're like, no, I don't care. And I was just like, yo, dude, like, I'm just saying, I literally have P1 and I'm just trying to get through to where they said we're supposed to be. So whatever. I mean, I get it. They didn't allow re-entry until like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and like no one has eaten the whole day. And I get it, people are hungry and they're tired and they're cranky. I get that. So I was just like, okay, whatever. If I can't get through, I'm just gonna stand here and wait for staff to figure this out, because they were literally still trying to figure it out. And so at one point, staff were physically going into the pit and like trying to lead P1 from back to the front. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is not happening. But it was. And it's crazy because on our wristband, it literally says Group A, Group B, Group C, yada, yada, yada. I'm just like, okay, what's the point of giving out wristbands if you're gonna do this? What's the point then? But anyways, at one point I was like, some of the staff allowed like a line of P1 to go like more to the more forward, so I was able to like go a little bit closer. And at this point I would say I'm like, I don't know, 10th row of people or something like that, which isn't terrible because the venue itself is pretty small. So like I had a decent view throughout the whole concert and I'm really grateful for that. But for some other people, like I can't say the same thing, you know, like I know other P1s were like on balcony because they rather be able to see the whole stage than like a sea of heads, you know. So that was that. And so after a while, the show did start pretty late. I think I forgot when it actually started, but it definitely wasn't at 4 like they intended. Well, everything was pretty much pushed back, which is fine, I guess. But yeah, the concert finally started, and it was Myungsoo, and then it was The Rose, A.C.E, and Astro. So yeah, I guess now I would finally get into the concert. So first up was Myungsoo, and this was supposed to be like his first like fan meeting in New York, so it was like supposed to be really special and everything. So I thought that was cool. He was just so like, he was so fan servicey, and he was just like super cute, and he was just so like, I don't know, he's just so charming, you know? And I'm not a huge Infinite stan, but I do really enjoy their music, so I can't really say much, but I really did enjoy seeing him, and his singing live, whoa, like he legit ate his CD. Like I couldn't believe that. Wow. I was seriously blown away by his vocals. Like, he has such an amazing voice, and he's just not just a visual. Like, he can sing, he can act, you know, and he's, you know, beautiful. So triple threat, you know. He was really great. And like, there were a lot of times where he would do a cappella, and I was just like, oh my God, is that a voice of an angel? You know, it was amazing. And basically, each artist had the kind of like the same setup, which was like they would perform a few songs, do Q&A, and then a game, and then like one final song. So that was like basically the same for all the artists. I don't have too much footage for Myungsoo. Actually, I don't have that much footage for Astro either. So Myungsoo and Astro are the two artists I couldn't get that much footage, only because there was a person in the crowd who was trying to say like, okay, if you paid for this artist, you should be in front. So I was like kind of following along with that. So I was like, okay, you know, if you're an Infinite fan, like go up, like you go in front of me. I don't care, you know, you deserve it. So I was like kind of like more further for Myungsoo and Astro, because I'm The Rose stan and A.C.E. So I was more like in front for that. So I had more footage for them. So yeah, sorry about that, guys. Okay, so then next was The Rose, my babies. I love them so much. Like, this is my second time seeing them live. So if you haven't seen that vlog, me and Jessica went to their tour in San Francisco, and that was lit. It's like one of my favorite concerts, honestly. But yeah, I don't know, I just, even though I've already heard the songs they performed, like, it was as if I was hearing it for the first time again. Like, just seeing them perform live just makes my heart so warm. I just love them so much, and like, I can never get tired of hearing them perform. Like, hearing them live is so much different, and I say that like all the time, but it's true. So yeah, I'll insert the clips I have here. For The Rose, I was basically center, so I got really good fan cams of Woo-sung, and I'm really happy about that because he's my bias, so I'm like, yay! But yeah, it was great. And like, if you don't already know, The Rose, like, they had no filter and they're like brutally honest throughout the whole thing. So like the Q&A was really funny, and then the games that they played were really great. And yeah, they're just amazing. I just love them so much, and I do hope that their fandom grows, because I think they are getting more popular, and I'm really happy about that because everyone deserves to hear their music. Yeah. Okay, and then was A.C.E. So I was basically standing A.C.E. like pre-debut. Like I saw their covers on YouTube, like they're really old ones. I was like, wow, they're so talented. I really hope that they debut. And then a year later, they debuted, and I was like, oh my God. And here we are. I get to see them. And this was only like a sneak peek into the world tour, which me, Jess, and John are gonna go to in November. So catch that vlog later. But yeah, the moment they went on stage, I could not believe that I was seeing them, because they're just so unreal in real life. You know? Yeah. I was honestly looking at June and Seyun the whole time. They were so beautiful. Oh my God. But yeah, so they performed like Cactus and Colin, and I really thought that they were gonna perform I Feel So Lucky. I would have lost my shit if they performed that, but they didn't. So I hope I see that at their world tour. But yeah, it was so impressive to see how well they can dance and sing all at the same time. Like I could barely count and dance at the same time. So major props to them. Like they're just super talented. Like their songs are lit, but when you see it in person, it gets like 100 times more, 105 times more lit. So I was just like headbang the whole time. But yeah, it was honestly so good. And like their facials were, whoa, like June was attacking me so many times. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like everyone was attacking me. I was like, oh, Jesus. But yeah, it was amazing. I can't wait to see them in November. I'm like even more pumped now. And so, yeah, after that was Astro. And at this point, there was a lot of Astro fans. So like I let a lot of Astro fans in front of me because, you know, they deserve to see it. So I didn't get too many fan cams of Astro at that point. I was so tired. It was 4 hours of concert, which is worth it, you know, for sure. But I was dead. I was staying for 12 hours, and yeah, so I couldn't record as much, but I did get a few clips, so I'll insert that. To all the Astro fans or Rojas, I'm so sorry, but I don't know all the members, so I can't really talk about them individually, you know, because I'll just be like, yeah, you know, he was really cute, but then I don't know his name and all that. But they were really great live. Like their stage presence was amazing, and their dancing, amazing. I'm just gonna say that they're just amazing, but honestly, it was really good. I really like Rocky. Yeah, I really like Rocky. His dancing is phenomenal. Yeah, he was really good. And everyone just looked really beautiful, and I really enjoyed listening to their music. So yeah, I think my favorite performance they did, I mean, they only did a few songs like all the other artists, but I really like Crazy, Sexy, Cool. That was really good. That was like one of my favorite songs. So yeah, it was really great. All right, so that pretty much ends my review, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say about this. It's like, yes, I did enjoy it, but I only enjoyed it because I was there for like my favorite groups, you know? But everything else was just like, I don't know. Was it worth it? I don't know. It's really up to you and how you see it. It was definitely worth seeing, you know, my favorite groups. Like, it was definitely worth it. But for $300 and a flight to New York, at least you guys can learn from my experience and decide for yourself if you guys want to go next year if they have it or not. But man, I feel like with anything, if it's their first year, they're gonna have a lot of bumps in the road, and I totally get that. So I mean, hopefully they learn from this experience and they can make the convention even better next time if they do have one. So yeah, thanks for coming along with me, guys. Oh, and for all you guys that have went, go ahead and put your experience down in the comments below too, because I want to hear about it as well, to see if, you know, maybe some of you guys have a great experience in comparison to me. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.